Right out. What's the word?
Okay, it says we're live. This is my first time going live on YouTube. I was live on Nerdtorial Lifeform, if you know who that is. I think you might, because I saw you're in his Discord.
Yep.
I topped in on his stream when he got monetized, so I was in his stream for a few minutes, but with like a whole bunch of other people. So it's like my first time where I'm like not just one of many. So
cool. I got to remember my cameras right here. Yep.
Yes.
If I move, then Cage's noggin gets it put in the background. So I got to stand over here.
Cool. So yeah, it's just a little test stream. Want to go live and kind of see how this stuff works, and thought I'd chat with you just about games while I was at it.
Cool. Right on. Let's do it.
So, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this or delete it or whatever afterwards, but obviously we both love Subnautica.
Yes. That's one of my favorite games. I think I like Subnautica about as much as my son likes Minecraft.
Yeah, I'm planning on because I'm not in my permanent setup right here. I'm kind of designing in my head, rearranging my office, which is a desk in a large walk-in closet.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I had to build a desk in my garage when I first got started, so I get it.
So I was planning, because I've been wanting to start my channel for probably like 3 or 4 years now. I just haven't had time, and my schedule is changing now too. And so that's kind of why I've gotten a little bit more time. So, but for years I've been planning on doing a green screen behind me and changing whatever's behind me. But I just had this thought just like this week of, instead of angling my desk where it is right now, putting it against this wall. So I've actually got some the closet has like some shelving behind it, so maybe I can use that to put up some of my nerd stuff rather than doing a green screen. Background.
Yeah.
And so oh, go ahead.
Yeah, green screens are iffy. If you don't have like really high-end software for green screen, you end up getting that like weird haze around you.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
kind of like probably what you're seeing on my end, because I'm
I think that's
the
just
blur effect right now.
Yeah. I'm using NVIDIA's broadcast thing, so I have a couple different options, but you can still tell like background removal. So this is probably what I would use for video gaming, and then I would just have the game behind me, and I would be kind of like small in the corner. I don't know what kind of computer you have, but if you have NVIDIA broadcast, that you have a lot of options with that. It's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, I've currently right now I'm on my work laptop, but at my actual desk I've got a PC I bought it was pretty top tier when I bought it, except I never really planned on gaming on it, so it's only got like a one. I actually didn't even know it had a not integrated GPU like a year or two ago. I didn't even think it had a GPU, and it just had integrated until I actually opened it up, and because I borrowed one from work just to see if it would fit, and I took it back. But I went to go put it in. I'm like, oh, there's already one in here, and I never even knew it. But yeah, I bought my PC like 2012, so it's old, but it was top tier, so it still runs fine. The only thing I've had to do to it since then is replace the mechanical hard drive and put it in an SSD. But yeah, so it can't run very much when it comes to games, but I do have all the parts for a computer, which I bought last year. I've been having trouble with it, and I haven't been able to get it running yet, so that's kind of high on the agenda as well, because I've got a 12th gen i7. And like 32 gigs of RAM, and I've got a RTX 3050, I think, which pretty.
I don't know
budget.
I have a.
But I just need
to figure out RTX something. I have no idea.
I have to figure out how to get it running. But yeah, so I don't know if my current computer could do what you're talking about with that NVIDIA stuff, but I'm sure my new one can once I get it running.
Yeah, if it's a GTX, it probably can handle it. This is pretty minimal stuff as far as cameras go. But you know what I think would be a good idea for you is if you were going to build your own computer to kind of do like a little bit of a hype for your channel, like show yourself building the computer that you're going to be gaming on. I think that'd be kind of cool. I'd watch somebody do that because I've never done it before. I've always wanted to, but I've never had the time or the capability of building my own computer. So if you wanted to like build your computer in the like kind of pre-process of getting your channel set up and kind of posting those videos to let people know, and then like they get committed and they get kind of like invested into you as a creator making your computer and then start gaming, I think it'd be kind of cool.
Okay, I had not even thought of that because I have all the parts. I put it together. I just can't get it to boot. Like it powers on, but I don't get anything. Nothing. The display doesn't even recognize anything. So I've been kind of stuck for a while. I found one other person on the internet who had almost the exact same build as me, and they had the exact same problem. So I messaged them, and both on the forum and directly, and I never heard back from them. So I was like, so I'll probably post again on that forum and see if anyone else might be able to help. But that's kind of on the agenda. But yeah, so once I get that up and running, I'm thinking of switching, but there's shelves on this side, so I might have to move those shelves and see if I can put them over here, and then I've got room to put all my nerd stuff. So, that's where I was going with that, is because I've kind of been redesigning my office in my head, is I want to get, one of those big like mouse mats that like you put your mouse and keyboard on.
Yeah.
It goes over like a huge part of your desk. So I found one like on Etsy where you like pick the games you want and they'll put all the games on it.
Oh, cool.
And so I was narrowing down yesterday or the day before, I was narrowing down like what games I want to be on there. And the image that they showed was like 4, but I'm like, can I really narrow it down to 4? So I'm trying to see if I can fit 8. And I was like, I'm actually trying to put Subnautica as like one of the 8 in there for like one of my top games like ever.
Gotta get the Cyclops swimming by in the background or something.
So, but yeah, I had a Discord call with Ryan from Legion Games, and he's gonna be one of my co-hosts. So,
nice.
I chatted with him for like an hour yesterday or the day before, and we talked about all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, I'm not seeing, I could see. Yeah, and my other co-host, he hasn't committed, like, he's like, I'll make it as long as I can, so I'm trying to work around his schedule, but I've always wanted Mark the Cyborg to be one of my co-hosts because he knows, like, probably more about games than I do, and so when it works for him, he'll be my co-host as well.
Cool, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, and I'm a mod on his channel, so he kind of knows me.
Oh, good, good.
But I'm trying to see... Yeah, I'm just looking on YouTube to see if it shows like this in the feed, and I'm not seeing that it's showing on live. So I'm pretty sure that the unlisted thing is like no one can see it unless I changed it, which yeah, I do have the ability to change it. Okay, cool. So, but yeah, I was just kind of getting to know Ryan and see what he's into, because when I first asked him, he's like, I'm kind of hesitant, but once we chatted, it was like, he's like, I don't play a lot of recent games. I'm like, that's perfect, because I don't either. I'm a super frugal gamer. I don't buy stuff until it's like 50% off or more. So it's not for like a year or two after it comes out, because what my channel is going to be about is, or my streams at least, I should say, is talking about whatever we've happened to be playing recently. It's going to be like the first part. And then the second part is... there'll be different topics each week, but it'll be like random questions that pretty much any gamer could answer. Kind of like, who's like the coolest boss you've ever fought, or what's the hardest game you've ever beaten, or what game have you spent more hours in than any other game? Just random fun topics like that. So
yeah,
anyway, pretty much anybody who's a gamer could probably answer those questions, and I think it would make it'd be good for evergreen content. So it's not ever going to be like, after like a 3-day cycle or whatever of news, no one's gonna watch it. We're gonna want to watch it again.
YouTube loves its top 10 videos. So if you want to do like top 10 hardest bosses we've ever played or something, like YouTube loves those kind of videos. They push them a lot. So that's a great idea as far as content goes. That if you want to try and like build your audience and stuff, top 10s, favorite lists, hardest games to play, that kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
I was thinking of probably... I don't know how much time I'm going to have to like actually make videos. So for the easiest thing would be, I was planning on like clipping out those sections and putting it as videos, kind of like what Ryan Kindle does on his streams.
Yeah.
But if I do get into like actually making videos, stuff like that I've already got a list of topics I would make for videos just like that, like top 10 lists and whatever.
There is a game on Steam, and I don't know if you've heard of it or not. I thought I put it in my cart because I was going to buy it, but it doesn't look like I have anything in there. It was called Chernobyl Light.
Okay, I know of the game, but I've never played it. I know it's a first-person shooter. kind of in the vein of Stalker, which is one of the.
I think it's like an offshoot of Stalker because I've played Stalker before.
Okay. I
And-
have a couple of Stalker games in my Steam library because someone's gifted them to me, but I haven't been a PC gamer since. Oh, because I originally built my first computer like back in high school, and then after that one aged out, I just have bought a couple of computers since then. So this will be the first time building a computer in like 20 years. But since then, I haven't really gamed on PC at all. It's just been all Xbox. But so I've got a couple of Stalker games in my Steam library. I've just never played them, but I have played. Metro, which is similar.
You can I can share my screen if you look down below if because this is going to come up if you're doing live streams if you want to be able to share people's screens.
Okay,
so add just allow stream. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Oh, cool.
So this is Chernobyl Light.
Yeah, I've seen it, but I've never played it.
Yeah, it looks like it's like an upgraded version of Stalker, but it has like almost like a Skyrim style, Bethesda gameplay system where it's like an RPG. You build your character, you go on different missions and stuff like that. It looks awesome.
Is that out already, or is that coming out?
Yeah, it's available right now. It's been out for a couple of years, I think. It came out in 2021.
Because I've been hearing a lot of people like hyped for this game, or maybe it's another Stalker game, or is there a Chernobyl Light 2? I know it was something like this. A lot of people have been talking about, like, has been like in development like forever.
Mm-hmm. But this one has got very positive reviews on Steam. And it's only I think it's like $20. Oh, it's for sale right now for 55% off. Add to cart. Done. I'm gonna buy it right now.
We Vader was gaming on your gaming channel the other day, and I think me and Astro Nerd Boy. It was like me and one other person were like the only ones in his chat, and he was looking through Steam, and we got him to buy a couple of games. So he played. He got some cat game, I think. He didn't play that one yet, and then we convinced him to get Vampire Survivors. It's only like $5, and he's like, "This game looks dumb," but then he after playing it for like 15 minutes, so like, "Oh, I'm hooked."
That's funny. Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for some good like horror survival. Like single player type games. Like that's my jam.
Are you into the Resident Evil franchise?
I tried, but I don't like the mechanics. I love the games, I love the visuals, I love the stories. That's all cool. I don't like the mechanics of the actual gameplay. I don't like not being able to run and aim at the same time, and it's very clunky to me, and it kind of takes me out of the game. I have to focus so much on how to control my character that I can't kind of get immersed into the game. So it's very frustrating. But I could be being a drama queen about it, but
no, I'm right there with you. It's the tank controls. The only Resident Evil game I've ever played was Resident Evil 4. I had it on GameCube, and I couldn't get past like the opening because the aiming in that game is just god awful.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
So when they re-released it on Wii, I traded my GameCube copy for the Wii copy, and I could actually use the Wii to aim rather than the joystick, and it made the game so much better. I actually played through almost, I would say probably about 75% of the game, maybe not as much. I don't know how long the actual game is. I never finished it because did you play Resident Evil 4?
No.
Okay.
I might have played it like a demo or something, but I've never purchased it and played the whole thing.
Okay, so there's these enemies. They're called regenerators that show up at some point into the game. That's basically where I stopped because the only way to kill these guys is you have to have I think it was some rifle with a thermal scope so that you can see like their weak points through their skin. And I never used that gun because I didn't like that gun. And I obviously didn't have the thermal scope because that's the only gun it works on. So you're literally stuck unless you backtrack through the entire game to go back and get that gun. And at that point, I'm like, I'm done with this game. So I never finished it. I tried it again like 10 years later because Resident Evil 4 was on Game Pass for a while. So I was like, all right, maybe I give it another shot on Xbox back with the regular controller. Same thing as the GameCube version. I got into the village at the intro and I got killed like 5 times in a row without even killing like a single enemy. And I was like, all right, nope, this is not for me.
Yeah. I have, it looks like on my Steam account, I have the original Resident Evil. I think I probably bought it because it was like $5 or something. And then I have a demo for Resident Evil 2, but I've never never played. I have 69 minutes played, so like an hour. I play for an hour, and I was like, nah, not for me.
Yeah, nothing against the franchise, but yeah, it's just not one.
No,
I don't.
it's just not my cup of tea. Yeah.
I typically don't do scary stuff. So, whenever, oh yeah, so on my regular streams, which I'm planning on doing 11:30 on Saturday, every other Saturday.
Nice.
So the plan is for me, Ryan, and Mark as the regular host, and then having a guest host each week, kind of like FNT. So, the opening part it will be kind of a getting to know the guest host and like what's what they're into. So yeah, like for me, like scary stuff, I don't really do scary stuff when it comes to games or movies. Probably the scariest game I ever played was, I think it was one of the Alien vs Predator PC games, like in '96 or so.
Oh yeah.
The Predator campaign was awesome. The Alien campaign was really cool because you can like go on the walls and you can see people through walls because they see through pheromones. But playing that game as the Marine was the scariest crap I've ever played.
Have you played Alien Isolation at all?
No, I will. Well, I played it for like 5 minutes because it was part of a Game Pass quest one time, where you just had to play it for like 5 minutes to get rewards points, which is how I buy a lot of my games, so I don't have to spend any money. And I read a guide. It's like, go hide in this corner and the alien won't find you. So I just hid in there until the quest popped because I'm like, and I'm still scared the entire time. I can't imagine playing that in VR. That's got to be the scariest thing ever.
It's an incredible game. I don't know what studio created it, but it's one of the best, like, true to the movie video games I've ever played. Like, the aesthetics is there, the sound effects are there. It's incredible. I love that game.
Okay. A lot better than Alien. Oh, what was that?
Marine? Was it the Marine one?
Yeah, the one that.
Yeah. No, that was just a FPS like money grab. I don't really consider that one. This one, like, it feels like a sequel to the movie. Like, it's legitimately good.
Colonial Marines. That was the terrible one that had the broken AI. And they did you hear, like, years later they found out that it was the whole reason for the terrible AI was because of like one character in the code. It was like a period and it should have been a comma, and it fixed everything.
Oh my god. No, I didn't hear that. I never played that game. It got so review bombed. I think at the time, a couple of years back, I used to watch a lot of Angry Joe reviews on video games, and I would kind of base my takes on what I was going to play off of him. Specifically, like, I wouldn't watch all of his videos, but I would watch the ones that had to do with the games that I was considering buying.
Yeah.
And if he didn't like it, I'd be like, forget about it. Yeah, that game got like universally panned by like everybody. This game is terrible.
Yeah, and everyone was like super hyped for it. I heard that the more recent one that's kind of like a spiritual successor, that Fireteam Elite, was decent, but I didn't really hear much about it one way or the other. But I did hear a lot of people say they really liked Alien Isolation. But yeah, for someone that doesn't do scary stuff,
it is scary. It's very scary, especially there's another game. It's not necessarily like a horror game, but have you played Hellblade? Any of the Hellblade games?
Oh yeah, I think we mentioned it in
we were talking
Discord
about it before. Yeah.
But yeah, I played the first one. I am looking forward to the second one. The trailer that they just released in Games Summer Game Fest this week was kind of disappointing, but I am looking forward to that game because I really liked it. Yeah,
the first one was incredible. It was like, it was eerie and creepy, but it wasn't like scary. It wasn't like a jump scare type thing. It was just more like the atmosphere was like, whoa, this is wild.
Yeah, eerie I'm okay with, but yeah, like scary, no thanks.
Yeah, I remember what really hooked me with that game was I had like my noise canceling headphones while I was playing it, and I was kind of like locked in. I was in a dark room. I had my screen, like I was immersed in the game, and because the player that you are playing as, or the character that you're playing as, is like schizophrenic, or she has like some kind of a mental disorder where she hears voices and stuff.
Yeah,
I remember there was voices coming in like a stereo audio on both sides of my thing that were saying two different things at the same time, and I was like, this is freaking crazy. Like, it was so awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm glad someone mentioned it before I played it, because I listened to a podcast or something. Someone mentioned it to me in Discord, and they're like, if you ever play Hellblade, play it with headphones. And that when I did play it, I played headphones. Well, I'm like, yes, I'm glad someone mentioned that. Definitely play it with headphones because it makes the game way better.
There's another game you might like. I don't know if you have you heard of The Long Dark?
I know of it, but I don't know anything about it. I want to say it's a survival game.
Yes, it's very much a survival game, but it has a really, really in-depth story for the single player campaign. And I have it pulled up right here. I'll share my
Let's say
screen with you.
I think it's on Game Pass.
It might be. I have it on. I have it
No,
on. I own it on Steam.
oh, it was on Game Pass. It left just a couple months ago.
Okay. Yeah, this game was a lot of fun. I played about looks like I played 33 hours. I never got super into like diving into the story because I was focused on trying to survive. It's a very difficult game. Like survival is hard in this game. And I play most of the survival games that I play. I always set the hardness to the highest difficulty because I want it to be like brutal.
Okay.
And just for because I feel like if I'm going to spend upwards of $50-$60 on a game, I don't want to blow through it on easy mode and like play for 12 hours and then be done. Like I want to have like a challenge. I want to get my money's worth out of it. So I always set my difficulties super high. And this game was really cool. The aesthetic, the art style of the actual gameplay was really interesting and unique. And the storyline that you actually go through was very fascinating. Almost had like a Lost type vibe. Like it was like you walk into like this bunker and you find random notes and types of stuff like that you have to kind of puzzle piece together, and it helps you find different locations within the map. It's very, very in-depth and interesting. I had a lot of fun playing it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Do they have any Easter eggs in it for 4, 18, 15, 16, 23, 42?
I do not know. You would have to find out for yourself.
Did you watch How I Met Your Mother?
Oh yeah.
Okay, there was an episode where the guy who played Hurley in Lost was in How I Met Your Mother. Do you remember that episode?
Yes. Yep.
There was a part where they were gonna text message a dick pic to some random person, and he comes running over. He's like, they're like, what number should we call? He's like 4, 18, 15, 16, 23, 42. And I was dying laughing. I was like, oh, that's a good joke. But
nice.
Of course, only people who watched Lost also would have gotten that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that time, like that actor was pretty famous for that role, so I think a lot of people probably got it. But yeah, I got Stalker. I didn't play much of this game. I don't know why. I just couldn't get into it at the time. I didn't have time to dedicate to it. I have these are all the original LucasArts Star Wars games. I got them all on a package. The good ones, yeah.
The good ones, yeah.
Yeah. Steam had a sale one time, and I got the whole bunch of them for like $10. I was like, heck yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Steam sales are going on all the time. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Subnautica, because when you just mentioned like playing through on the hardest difficulty, when I first played Subnautica for the first time, I played it for probably like 10 hours or so on. I think survival is like the regular difficulty.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate having to deal with thirst and hunger. I just want to deal with air and health. So I switched over to, I think it's called freedom mode.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to worry about hunger and thirst. It's just air and health. And so I played through the first time like that, and I really enjoyed it. And then the next time I played through it, I'm like, all right, I think I'm ready to give it another go with survival, where it included the health or the food and water, and I enjoyed that a lot. The second time,
the replayability of this game is mind-blowing for me. I know some people might be like, oh, it's the same thing every time. Like this is just me talking for myself. Like I can play through for 50 hours of this game, delete that account, or start it all over, and it's a completely different experience every time. And I have so much fun playing this game. It never gets old. I haven't even downloaded Sub-Zero yet because
Below Zero.
Yeah, Below Zero. Sorry, I still haven't downloaded Below Zero because I'm still playing this one, and I'm like, I'm not bored yet. So like when I get bored, then I'll download the next one. But this one's still doing just fine for me.
Below Zero is a little bit shorter. And most of the community regards it as okay, but not as good as the first one. But there are, I think during when you were streaming, I was telling you about this, that like that one right below there, the update on December. Yeah, that large update. Yeah. Basically, what that is a bunch of quality of life upgrades that they added into Below Zero. They backported into this game. Nice. Like that large room that you're looking at right there wasn't originally in Subnautica, but it was in Below Zero, and they brought it backwards into the first game and a bunch of other stuff. Awesome. But Yeah,
I love this game, and the community around it is super active too. Like there's always people talking about it, and you'll never run out of videos on YouTube about it and stuff like that. It's cool.
yeah. The subreddit for Subnautica is like one of the only Reddits that I go to. I'm not really active in it, but it's like the one that I get notifications from like once a
you
day,
browse through it, yeah.
and just always pulling up like interesting stuff. Shoot, what was I just gonna say about it? Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that so? I'm a completionist, and so I want to get through as many games as possible. So usually I'll play through a game, I'll get all the achievements, and then I move on to the next game and try to get through as many games as possible. So it takes a lot for me to go back to a game again when I've already got the achievements and play it, not getting any more achievements. And I love this game so much. I've probably played it 5 or 6 times since I've gotten all the achievements.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see this or not. I don't know if it's showing up on your screen. It might not be. Let me see. I have a screenshot from one of my previous playthroughs. Here we go. This was my base, my pride and joy at the time. I don't remember when this was. It had to have probably been a couple of years ago. But
I was going to say this is probably during your initial playthrough, right after it came out.
Yeah, I had so much freaking fun building this base. I can't quite recognize where this is, but it must be pretty shallow because the color is pretty light.
Yeah.
But this was just such a cool base to build, and I had so much fun putting it all together. I had the moon pool and the scanner room, all that stuff. It's just I love Subnautica so much. I can't wait to start like an actual playthrough from my channel. I don't think I'm going to get any views. Like I'm going to get like 3 people watching it, and then maybe my videos will get like 10, 15 views per one, but I don't care. I'm just doing it for myself. I think it'll be a lot of fun to kind of like catalog my playthrough finally.
Yeah, every time I play it, I'm like, all right, this time I'm gonna make a cool base like that. But every time I play it, I just end up making a base that's functional but not very cool like that.
It's a great game. I highly recommend anybody who hasn't played it yet to check it out.
Yes. So, but yeah, so that's one of my favorite games. But, like, what are some of your other favorite genres?
I'm a one note type person. I really stick to survival type games. I grew up with Halo, so Halo probably fits into the FPS category. It's not survival or anything like that, but Halo is definitely a staple of my childhood. I still play it to this day. I own the Master Chief full package on Steam and on Xbox, so any device that I'm on, I'll pull up Halo if I just want a quick, fun, no-brainer type mode. I love going back to the original Combat Evolved. Another one that I go back to a lot, and I've been playing since the 90s, is Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
That's one that you were talking about just starting soon.
Yeah, I'm going to be starting that up pretty soon. It should only be like 4 to 5 episodes. If I keep them to an hour long, I should be about 5 episodes. I think it's like a 5-hour runtime for that
short game.
Yeah, it's fairly short, but it's so much fun, and it's one of the best Indiana Jones like stories out there. Like I know there's a lot of good books, and we have the classic 3 movies. But like as far as like a story for Indy to go on an adventure with, I think this is one of the better ones. So if you're an Indy fan and you want something better than what they're putting out right now, Fate of Atlantis is definitely the way to go. And I really enjoy the click adventure games. I wish they would kind of come back. Like what was it, Escape Monkey Island or something like that? That was back in the 90s too.
Yeah, and those I played because there was The Secret of Monkey Island, I think, was the first one. Mm-hmm. They remastered it, and then I played the Xbox Live Arcade version of that probably about 10 years ago. And then there was this, I think there was Return to Monkey Island, I think was the second.
Something like that. Was it Escape or Return? I can't remember, but
I only played the first one, but I know there are a few. And then they just announced a crossover just the other day with Sea of Thieves with Monkey Island.
Oh, really? That's cool. Right on.
So
I really wish. Well, I wish I would do it if I knew how. If I had the capability of like coding and stuff like that. But I think point and click adventure games could make a big comeback on mobile devices. Because if you have a tablet or your cell phone and you're playing a click and point adventure game, you could literally just touch the screen to pick things up and whatnot. Like it would And it's
Perfect
such a
space.
yeah, it's a perfect game for a mobile device, and the amount of space needed for these types of games is so minuscule these days. Like it's like 50 megabytes for a freaking video game. Like
Yeah.
this Indiana Jones game is tiny. Like it doesn't even register on my computer how much space it takes up on the memory card. So I'm like, it would be a perfect application to bring these things back on mobile devices, and I think it would sell like hotcakes. There's a game that I play on my mobile phone. I think
Dragon
it's called
Champions.
Shout out Dragon Champions. Um, it's called Kingdom, I think. I want to make sure I'm saying this right because I think I paid $10 for it a couple years ago, and it's a very simple, like 16-bit, like base building game. I don't even know if you can find it anymore, but I'll have to find it later. But yeah, it's a very simple, but the aesthetic of it is like a 90s point and click adventure game. Like it has the 16-bit characters and everything's very blocky and pixelized, and it just has that fun like retro style to it. I love playing that game. It's a lot of fun. It's impossible to beat. You cannot beat the game. They have it set up to like when you get to a certain level, what you do is you build a base in the center of this map, and on either side of the map, it's like a side scroller. Either side of the map, there's a portal to like this demon dimension. And every night, the portal opens and these little demons come out and they attack your base. And you have to build your base up and you have to build your supplies and build your defenses so that you can fight off the demons that come out of this portal.
Is it more like a tower defense game?
Kind of, yeah. But it's
Wow.
it's only 2D. It's a side-scrolling game, so you don't get like a three-dimensional like up top view. It's just right in front of you like a piece of paper, like the
Okay.
old school 2D games. And as you build your base and as you grow your base, you end up encroaching more and more on the edges of the map, and you get closer and closer to the demon base, and then eventually it just gets to the point where they just completely overrun you and you can't win. And like you can survive, it's just survive as long as you possibly can, but it's so much fun. It's a great game if you can find it.
Okay. But speaking of point and clicks, don't know how closely you pay attention to Game Pass games, because I keep on top of that pretty good. Is that
Mhm.
some of the top tier of the 90s are all on Game Pass. Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, and Grim Fandango.
Full Throttle. That sounds really familiar. I know that game.
Those are some of the well-known ones from Lucas, not Lucas, LucasArts.
Yeah.
From back in the day. Mark Hamill even voices one of the characters in Full Throttle. Nice. So those are on Game Pass. And then one of them that was also, I think someone from LucasArts went and made their own studio. The game was on Game Pass, but it left sometime last year, was Thimbleweed Park, was another point and click. And they had a lot of references to LucasArts stuff in that game. So that was kind of fun.
Oh, I found it. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but it's on mobile on the App Store. It's called Kingdom New Lands.
Okay.
And it's got that 16-bit like art style. It's really, really cool. It looks like they might have updated it. There's some stuff in here I don't recognize, so maybe there's like a new version. That's pretty cool. I wanted to talk to you about something because you mentioned a game called Grounded on Xbox.
Yes.
That I had seen, but the picture, the thumbnail for this game never caught my interest. I was just like, oh, it's like a kid's game or something like that. I got sucked into it, and I've played so many hours on my spare time.
You're supposed to wait for me.
I know. I'm sorry. I started playing it just because you recommended it. I was like, oh, I'll check it out, and I started playing it, and now I'm like into it. I'm like building bases and like trying to kill spiders and stuff. It's a really fun game. It's really, really cool. It's right up my alley. It's exactly the type of games that I like to do. So
perfect. I hope you would like it.
Yeah.
You're probably farther than me because I've only played it for like 4 or 5 hours so far. I got to like this base that was like inside of a tree.
Yeah. I'm just barely past that. Like I went there, I explored the base inside the tree, and I got given all these new tasks and all these new like locations that I was supposed to go, and then that's where I stopped. So I'm probably right where the same.
That's
place you
exactly
are.
Where I am, because the only reason why I've really played it so far is because the achievements that I need for it either played into like a Game Pass quest or some sort of contest that I'm in, because I'm in a lot of different Xbox contests based on getting achievements in certain games and stuff. So I haven't really gotten into it yet. So, given that we both love Subnautica, and if you wanted to start playing like Saturday nights or something, I thought Grounded would be a great game for us.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. If I can carve out enough time, I would love to do that. It sounds like a lot of fun. And I've never played a game like this in co-op mode. I have always wished that Subnautica had a co-op mode because people like you and I would just be disappeared for hours in this game together.
I see posts on the Subnautica subreddit about that all the time. Like, why is there no co-op in this game?
I don't want multiplayer. I don't want MMO. I just want like co-op, 1-2 players. That's it. I don't want it to get crowded. I don't want to have to share my freaking world with like 17 people. Just 2 people. And that's it.
Co-op is my thing. I don't like playing like Call of Duty Online, like versus other people. That just angers me. But I love co-op, which is why probably I was just playing it last night with my buddy. Me and my buddy play it.
I'm gonna pop up my Xbox account real quick.
Okay.
So I got Grounded. I've been playing Squadrons on like me versus the AI just because it reminds me so much of the classic X-Wing game.
X-Wing and TIE Fighter.
X-Wing,
great
TIE Fighter.
games.
Yeah.
I would love to play that game in VR. Mark's reviewed that game in VR and he said it's like amazing.
I bet. Yeah. I've never really considered that. That would be a lot of fun. I tried playing Prey, but I couldn't get into it. I didn't have time. There's 2 games that fit into like the retro gaming style. So this one, Planet of Lana.
That one just came out like within the last month.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Art style is very cool. If you've ever played oh god, what's that side scroller game where it's just like black and white? I can't remember the name.
Limbo?
Limbo. Yeah,
or
if you ever
Inside.
played Limbo. Both of those.
They're both the same developer.
Yeah, it feels very much like that, except this has a lot more like color to it. It's very painting-esque.
Yeah, I just played I played Limbo back when it came out. I thought it was an okay game, but it came out not long after Braid. If you do you know what Braid is?
Braid, no, I do not.
Okay, because Braid was like one of the first Xbox Live Arcade games, and it's an excellent puzzle game. It's a side-scrolling puzzle game. I guess I can remove that.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. I didn't mean to exit out of that thing. I was trying to go back. My bad.
No worries. But Braid is an awesome side-scrolling puzzle game, which if you get it's pretty short. There's even an achievement in it for beating the game in under 45 minutes. You have to be like really know what you're doing. But it's not a very long game, but it's a game, a puzzle, side-scrolling puzzle game that uses there's like 5 worlds, and each world uses time in a different way. So you manipulate time to solve the puzzles, and it's got a really pretty art style. And then not long after that, Limbo came out, and it's very similar in that it's a side-scrolling puzzle game, but it's just basically different shades of black and white and gray. And I don't know why everyone was like drooling over Limbo when it came out. I'm like, Braid is so much better. It's prettier. It's got music. It's got actual character, like characters that you can see. It's not just like a silhouette. Everyone's just like drooling over Limbo. And Limbo was a good game, but in my opinion, Braid was way better. But I just finally played through, and because I had gotten all but the last achievement in Limbo, which is for beating the game with 5 or less deaths, which is pretty tricky.
Oh yeah, that's hard. Yeah.
But I went back and I did it on all 3 stacks: the Xbox 360 version, the Xbox One version, and the PC version. So I just did that a few months ago, and I liked Inside a lot as well. The thing is, similar to Limbo, there's like no story. I'm like, what is going on? Why are people chasing me?
It's some kind of it's an alien invasion. I think the story is kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So if you're kind of paying attention to the background, like there's an alien invasion, and then people start acting like zombies, and they're under the control of these aliens. So I think, I mean, I'm just guessing. That's just my interpretation of what I'm seeing while I'm playing. I think it's it's something like that, like Invasion of the Body Snatcher style. There's another game right here, Trek to Yomi, I think is how you say it.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about that one as well. It's kind of like a 7 samurai game, right?
Yeah, it's a samurai game. I don't want to say it's a 2D side scroller game because it does have a little bit of depth to it, where like you run down pathways and stuff like that. So it's
more like a 2.5D.
Yeah, it's 2.5. That's a nice way to put it. The story is like this Ronin, this evil, warrior comes and destroys your village and you run away. But like halfway through the game, it switches into kind of like this mystical, like there's the dead come back to life and you have to fight zombies and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's very if you're playing on a controller, which I think you have to, there's like different moves that you do with your swords, like X X A B, and you kind of do like it's like combos and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. Recommend it. Very artistic. It's black and white for the most part, but I think it does have splashes of color here and there. And then if anybody out there is a fan of Rick and Morty,
I've never seen Rick and Morty, but
okay, High on Life.
People have been talking about High on Life.
Yeah, High on Life is basically like Rick and Morty on steroids. It's funny. Your gun is alive, and he talks to you while you're shooting, and he makes fun of you if you miss and stuff like that. It's goofy. It's very strange, very unique, but a lot of fun.
It just got a DLC announced this week, I think, called High on Knife.
Nice. Let's see. These are some of my lower, not so favorite games. I tried playing Shipbreaker. It felt like I was working. Like it felt like you have to rebuild a spaceship, but it felt like a job. Like I clock in and I will go outside into space and I rebuild this broken ship. And I'm like, this is not fun. This is very boring.
That's been on my list of like, I might be interested in this game. I could probably be convinced to play it, but I'm not totally sold on it because you're a space junker, but essentially, and you're breaking down ships.
Yeah,
you have to you're actually in 0G and stuff like. It sounds interesting, but it's kind of like space power wash simulator probably, and that game doesn't sound interesting to me at all. Neither does Lawn Mowing Simulator, but people have been going nuts over those games lately.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, if you're into that kind of thing. But yeah, when I played it, I'm like, am I working? Am I getting paid for this? Because this is literally a job. This is not fun. Let's see, what else have I played? Oh, 007's on Xbox right now. It was cool. I played through it the other day. I just popped it back in. Very nostalgic. They didn't update anything. It's exactly
like a port.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet because I'm trying to start any new games until I recover my completion percentage to a certain point. But I love GoldenEye and Perfect
this one's
Dark.
On my list. This one's on my list.
That looked interesting. I'm pretty sure it's a similar survival crafting game.
Yeah. Yep. Survival crafting. It's definitely on my list of things that I want to play. I just haven't had time to get into it. But yeah, those are kind of the top games that I've been playing lately. I'll just throw them on for 45 minutes or so before I go to bed, just to kind of wind down at the end of the day. I love side scroller, kind of like artistic games like Planet of Lana and Limbo and stuff like that. Those are a lot of fun. Skyrim's a staple. If I ever have 8 hours to do nothing, I'll put Skyrim on. But yeah, those are my games. It sounds like you and I have very similar interests and very similar tastes in video games, so that's cool. It's good.
I do have stuff that I love puzzle games. I like first-person shooters. I like action. My particular genre of choice is Metroidvania. I'm actually pretty, not humble brag, I'm pretty high up on the. If you're not on True Achievements, which is how most Xbox gamers who are into achievements and stuff and achievement hunting are part of the Xbox community are on True Achievements, and it tracks how it works is because whoever came up with the idea of True Achievements, they didn't think gamer score values were represented well, because you could have an achievement that takes 100 hours and it's 5 gamer score, and then you could have an achievement that takes 30 seconds and is worth 500 gamer score. So try and balance that out, they came up with a ratio or a formula actually, so that it takes the ratio of the achievement is based on its difficulty, and it determines that by how many people have played the game versus how many people have that achievement, and multiplies it by the gamer score value to give you the true achievement value. And so you can track yourself on leaderboards for different genres on how much true achievement score you have in those genres. And in Metroidvania, I am 19th globally. So that's my genre of choice. But I'm really open. I'll play almost anything. There's just a couple of genres that I don't dabble in, like horror games, fighting games. The only fighting game I've ever really been a fan of
Yeah.
is what I call baby's first fighter is Smash Bros.
Okay. Well, yeah, everybody loves Smash Brothers.
I love Smash Bros, but I've never been into like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
and RTSs. I'm not really into RTSs or turn-based / JRPGs. I do not like.
Oh,
But
I hate turn-based games. They're so frustrating.
yeah, me too.
I'm like, I know if I had complete control of my character, I could beat this guy in front of me, but because I have to wait for him to hit me 17 times, I just die. And that's one of the reasons why I never could get into Knights of the Old Republic.
I liked Knights of the Old Republic because I called it like a pseudo turn-based because it's not exactly turn-based, but you can like queue up attacks and let them play out. But it drove me nuts when I first played it because I didn't know anything about like dice rolls or Dungeons and Dragons or anything. And I'd be like, I saw his lightsaber connect. Why did it say miss? And that pissed me off until years later when I actually started. I played some D&D in college with some buddies, and I got to learn dice rolls and stuff. And I went back to KOTOR, and I'm like, this stuff all makes sense now.
Okay, all right.
So
yeah, fair enough.
But I like KOTOR is one of those top games of all time. Like great story and has literally one of the best like plot twists of all time in gaming. That and BioShock are probably like the top two I say with best video game plot twists. But the gameplay of KOTOR,
which BioShock?
The first
one? Okay. I forgot about BioShock until just now. You mentioned it. I've played most of them. I really enjoy them. But I, for some reason, just forgot that I played them. I remember, what's the one where you go up to the, like...
the sky?
The sky one. What is that called?
That was BioShock Infinite. That's the third one.
Infinite. I played the crap out of that one for a long time when it first came out.
I kind of have similar feelings to KOTOR as BioShock. They both have great stories, fantastic plot twists, but I wasn't a huge fan of like the gameplay. Not bad game, just I didn't really care for it all that much.
It's a little clunky.
Yeah, a little clunky, but I know everyone like loves KOTOR. But like my favorite Star Wars game of all time is Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy because it's like real-time combat and arguably still the best lightsaber combat in any video game.
Oh yeah. Did you ever play? Those are the only two games that I ever played online. Like, did you ever join up on those online things?
I never had the cojones to go and try it online, but I would play the campaign a lot. And like one of my favorite segments of any video game is in Jedi Outcast in level, it's either 9 or 11, where you meet Luke and you unlock the fast lightsaber style. And it's you and Luke versus 4 reborn Jedi. That's like my favorite lightsaber fight in like any game ever. I played that fight like hundreds of times. I'll play it and then I'll reload my save because I played it on PC, not on Xbox. Yeah. So I could hit quick save and then when I was done, I'd hit quick load and I just play that fight over and over and over and over again.
Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. When I would play those games, I would open up the drop down menu for like the I don't know, the code, I guess, for the game itself.
Realistic lightsaber combat one.
Yes. Realistic lightsaber, dude. I was chopping people up in those games. That's a must. Like, I don't play that game unless I have realistic combat on there.
Yeah, I don't think I knew about that code the first time I played through Jedi Outcast, and I found out about it later, and I played through it again. I'm like, oh my god, this is the greatest code ever.
Yeah, those are some of the coolest games for Star Wars from old school LucasArts.
I saw a post on Twitter just like a week or two ago, like, what's the best code in video games? And I saw a couple people mention that code.
It's really cool.
But yeah, those are my... I played Fallen Order, and I liked it. It's probably the best thing to come out of Disney Star Wars.
Agreed.
I haven't played Jedi Survivor yet because
it's $80.
I'm waiting to
$80.
I'm waiting to play it till I can play it without giving Disney any money. So that's... since it's Respawn, which is part of EA, Fallen Order is on Game Pass Ultimate because it's part of EA Play, and you get EA Play as part of Game Pass Ultimate, but you don't get it as base Game Pass. And it came to EA Play about a year after it came out. So Jedi Survivor is likely to come to EA Play about a year after its release, which would also mean it comes into Game Pass.
I have Game Pass Ultimate. Does that mean I can play that game for free?
Fallen Order, yes.
Yeah. Fallen Order. What about the new one?
Survivor? The new one, I can almost say with certainty that it will come to Game Pass eventually. Okay. My guess is probably about a year because they're big releases. They want people to buy the copies, of course. So EA delays the release of those games into their EA Play
Yeah.
service, but I can almost guarantee you it will come to EA Play at some point, and that's when I plan to play it.
Fallen Order. So it's on. So real quick, I just want to touch on this real quick because I think it's absolutely fascinating, and I do not understand how it works. But cloud gaming is the freaking coolest thing. It's what makes Game Pass worth it to me, because I can play some of the top level AAA games without having a top level AAA PC.
And it doesn't take 200 gigs on your hard drive.
Yeah. I don't understand how it's even possible to stream high quality video games from a server. I don't understand the technology, but I think it's the freaking coolest thing in the world.
It's funny how Xbox is doing pretty well in the cloud gaming department, and then just a few months ago, Stadia went out of business.
That's so wild. But yeah, cloud gaming is totally worth it. If you're, I think I pay like $15 a month, and I can play all these games at any point in time. I just hit load and it goes. It's really, really cool.
Not all the games on Game Pass have the cloud ability, but a lot of them do.
Yeah.
Because it's cool, because you can play it on your PC if you don't have a PC that is strong enough, like me. You can even play it on previous Xboxes. So you can play Xbox Series X games on an original Xbox One that came out in 2014.
Wow. That's cool. Yeah, Jedi Academy, I've played so many times. Jedi Outcast is great. Those are old. Anything out of LucasArts back in the day is pretty good bet. You're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there to play, and most of it's old. But I'm having fun.
One thing I was going to say earlier on Subnautica is that it's dangerous for me, because that's like the comfort. Like, if I don't know what to play, it's like, what's the first thing that pops into my mind? Oh, I'll play Subnautica. But if I start another run, that's going to be like another 30 hours where I'm not going to play anything else but Subnautica. And it's like, no, I have all these other games I need to get through that I haven't played yet. Why am I playing this game again? Because it's so addicting.
Yep. It's like when you sit down and you turn on Netflix and you're going to watch something, you end up just watching reruns of Seinfeld. It's the same thing.
Exactly. Kind of like,
all right, Matt. I got to run. It's been about an hour. I got to run. I got some editing to do. I got a mountain of stuff to catch up on. But thanks for having me on, man. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to actually schedule out time for us to play some games together. Grounded, I think, is probably going to be the first one I'll play co-op with you. I think that sounds like a great idea.
Sweet. Yeah, I can pretty much make any Saturday evening work. My streams on Saturday morning are just going to be every other week. So definitely looking forward to that. Appreciate you coming on and helping me kind of learn how the streaming thing works.
Yeah, no worries, man.
I think this was a great chat. So I think I'll probably leave this. I'll put this up on my channel as a stream if you're cool with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you chatting with you, and I will talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Peace out. See you later.
All right, later.